Welcome back, and as I mentioned in my previous video, this is the board game that is actually worth. I mean, the other Star Trek game, Expedition, is not a bad game. I mean, you know, after a couple of games, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, you probably want a little bit more variety, but it's not a bad game. This one, on the other hand, is a great game. Star Trek Fleet Captains. It's a huge box, by the way. This is the expansion, Romulan Empire. This is pretty much your regular size box, as you can tell. You know, the other one is huge. I just want to do a component overview of what comes in both those boxes, and probably in another video I'll go over the rules and my thoughts on it. Alright, so here's what is coming in the box. A lot of cards, a lot of HeroClix figures, and also, this is not in the game, but a lot of tokens. A lot of tokens. You get pretty much what you pay for. There is quite a few things. I haven't sleeved my Romulan deck yet, but I've sleeved every single other card. You can imagine it's going to cost you even more money if you sleeve everything. You don't really need to sleeve the ships card because you're not going to be too much shuffling it and using them as much. The deck I would, encounter deck, and maybe the mission deck doesn't really need to be sleeved, but I like to sleeve all my cards. That's the way I do it. So there's a lot of stuff, and where to start, right? As you can tell, there's a lot of. I had to cut a piece of the, box just to fit the cards. Some of the stuff keeps in the Romulan. Just pretty new. I just got this not long ago. I played only once with the Romulan. But what you get pretty much is 12 ships for each faction, the Federation, the Klingon, and the Romulan. So that's 36 ships altogether. That's pretty amazing. And again, if you've seen my previous video on Star Trek Expedition, it's the same kind of detail, not painted. So you would not have the painting, but the detail, as you can tell, is still amazing. You really can see. I mean, if you look close enough, you might see the shuttle coming out. Nah, maybe not, but Janeway is right there. Pretty impressive, right? And the clicks are a little bit different. I mean, this clicks is just, it gives you some specs on your weapons, sensor, engine, and shield, with the name of every ship. So as you can tell, and maybe I'll show you another one. Why not show you the actual? Well, that's not the Enterprise, this is the Venture. That's what the base says. But when I play, sorry, this is the Enterprise, okay? It's just the way it is. But as you can see, it's not painted, but if you can paint, I can't. I cannot paint for my life. To tell you the truth, I haven't really tried, but I know me. I don't feel like messing up my models. So, if you're watching this video and you live around, well, I don't know, around the Miami area, Dade, Broward, and you paint and you're good at it, hey, give me a call, man. I don't know how much you will charge, but I might be interested. Anyway, this is the models, and all of them, all 36 models, are very well detailed. Let's go with one of the Klingon. Yeah, very nice. I'm just showing you this a lot because obviously you're paying for that when you buy the game. As I said before, I think the game is around, it's going to be between 70 to 100 bucks depending where you get it. If you get it cheaper than that, even better. But you're paying for the figures. I mean, obviously you are paying for that. So, and then the Romulan, one of my favorite ship has always been this one. If you can, I'll put the yeah, here we go. It's amazing detail. You can just imagine if you paint this. Alright, so the game comes with, like I said, 36 ships. They all have clicks, so they all have stats for their shield, their sensor, weapons, and engine. And that's how you play the game. You will use those throughout the game. Also, all ships are attached to a ship card. For example, the Klingon here have the Klingon ship deck, which it's composed of obviously the 12 ships. And then on the card, try to get the glare out, but it has the name, special ability for the ship. This one is a consular ship. You earn 1 extra VP the first time Kronos 1 completes an influence mission. There's a few numbers here. Pretty much tells you the size of the ship, because this game you play per size. You decide each side how many size army you're gonna get. Kind of like a miniature game. If you played some Warhammer or whatever. Of course it's not to that degree, but this ship is a size 4. You go to 10 usually. You can go to 14 or more, depends on you, but you will get ships that has a size of 10, so 4 plus another one until you get to 10. It's also tell you in the bottom there the missions you will pick. The science mission, influential mission, and command mission, or combat mission I should say. And some stats on your shield, weapons, sensors, and engine. So that's the ship cards. Each factions, obviously, Empire comes with his own cards. And counter deck, you will pick that. I'll go over the rules when I do the rules overview, but this is the things you will, you will encounter, and you just read it and it tells you what to do and test. It's all really thematic. It's really taken from some of the episodes. If you've seen Star Trek, all the episodes, and this mix Next Generation, the original series together, even Voyager. So I'm not sure Deep Space Nine is in there. I don't think so. Not that I remember. Klingon command deck, Federation command deck, and Romulan command deck. There is 100 cards each, which are split into 10 different decks of, well, it depends. For example, I split them by, putting them one over the other. But this deck here, it's called the Science of War deck. It has 10 cards in it. And you will have another deck, for example here, the Klingon High Council deck. There's 10 of them. And what you will do in the beginning of the game, you would pick 4 decks that you decide. You can look at all of them and pick 4 different decks, mix them together, and now you have a 40 card deck that you're going to play with during the entire game. And which makes very, very interesting, because there's a great replayability, because you can really mix the deck. Some decks are more combat oriented, some are more science oriented, some are more exploration oriented. So you will pick them, and then you will have 40 cards to play with, and it helps you during your game, and you will take 5, and you will take more as you play them and everything. So it's not really a deck building, but more of a deck, like a card game mixed with a mixed with a board game, mixed with a lot of different mechanism, which makes it very, very interesting. Then you have a mission deck. So as I told you before, depending on the ships you pick, you will have some mission to start with. Usually, if your size, army size or fleet size, call them, not army, this is Star Trek, guys. So let's call it the fleet size is 10, then you will have 10 mission. So every mission is on. There is this is the espionage mission that was introduced with the Romulan expansion. There is science mission, combat mission, influence mission, and you also have a little board. It's pretty much the size of a card, very hard. You put it on the table, and you will put the science card on this side, you know, influence card on this side, combat and espionage. You put them on all four corners of that card. The reason you do that is because obviously the card will be turned face down, so you won't know which one is which. So by putting next to the red, you know that this side is red, this side is the green mission pack, and so forth. So that's a pretty good one. And then also you have another card where you will put the encounter deck on the side, the trash. When you discard a card, it goes there, and when you discard it from your hand or from your deck, you will put it in the trash. Okay. And locations are not cards, they are this thing right here. So this is what the board is made of, and this is the where a lot of complaint come from, is that the components are really weak. At least when it comes to the cards, they're kind of soft and very you know, not really hard, and then the board, I mean, probably as thin than the card. It is actually as thin as the card. So people have complained that it kind of warp, and it does warp a little bit. It could have been harder, yes. Could have been more of this kind. I don't see why not. But I've taken much more place than this, because this is a pretty thick deck. I'm not sure how many you have, because some came with the expansion, so I have more than used. That's a lot of board tile. I can imagine if it was thicker, I mean, the pile will be up to the sky and probably won't fit in the box. But it could have been a little bit thicker. It's not a big deal once you play a lot, because what you're going to do is you're going to have the entire board made of all those hexagon, and once you land on it, then you will turn it and you will read what it says, see where you are and stuff, and I will go through that reading the rules whenever I get to that video. So because you're going to be turning it, and at one point it's going to be on the floor, it's not that bad that it's that thin. Some people have tried to laminate it. I've tried, they didn't like it really much, but you could do that, but it's okay, it's not too bad. It comes with dice. Now the original game, this one here, the original Starfleet Fleet Captains, comes with dice that are practically microscopic, right? I would probably put those dice here. You probably won't even see them. Well, they're not there, but this is how small they are. I mean, so the expansion, Romulan Empire, came with 2 new dice, much bigger, regular size dice, which makes it much easier to use, right? Because I don't know what those 2 miniature, I mean, I threw them away. That's because I think one day they fell on the floor and I couldn't find one, so I'm like, you know what, I'm done with it. And dice are not that expensive, give me a break. So, and I even bought, before I bought the expansion, once I was done with the little small dice, I just went and bought a couple of dice, red for the Klingon and blue for the Federation. You know, much better looking. You can give one to each player who plays, and that's all you need is 1 dice. If you really need 2, you can always, you know, roll boys. And then you come with this, but I'm still playing with those. Now I need to buy another green one for the Romulan, and I'll be set. That's one advice I give you. Just, you know, customize your game with nice dice. I mean, you're going to be rolling them a lot, so there's not a lot anyway. 2 dice, not the end of the world. And that's pretty much what it comes with. Oh, of course, there's a million tokens. I won't even try to go into it, but there is, I think in the box it says there is 1,000,005 tokens. No, not really, but it feels like it. Different kind of tokens for different things. And during the rule we'll go through them. Again, the quality of the tokens are great. You know, they are thick, and so the only really issue is specifically those tiles because they are your board and you expect board to be a little bit thicker, but it's not too bad. You know, the game is so nice, so great, then you probably won't worry too much about that. The rest of the cards are a little bit thin, but once you sleeve them, no problem. I mean, you live with it. And because there is so many of them, maybe it's not a bad thing. I mean, at least it can fit somewhere in the box. So that's pretty much. Oh, one more thing also. The game comes with command posts, which are made of the same material than the board, which actually you put in front of you and the board extends from there. And it comes with the original games comes with Federation, 2 Federation outposts and 2 command posts. Sorry, 2 Federation command posts, 2 Klingon command posts, and the expansion comes with 2 Romulan Empire command posts. Why 2 is because you can play this game plays 2 or 4. Now you can play with 3, obviously. Okay, what happened is if you play yourself with a friend, and obviously you use 2 command posts, one for you, one for him. And I'm talking about the original game here, in case somebody doesn't buy the expansion yet. If you want to play with 4 players, then you can use 2 command posts on one side of the table, 2 command posts on the other side for the other fleet, and then you will play 2 against 2, playing teams. There's a little bit of rules change when you play 2 against 2, but not many, just a few. Especially on how many actions you can take and stuff. And then if you have the expansion, then now you can play 3 players. Okay, 1 against 1 versus 1 versus 1, or you can play 2 versus 2 versus 2, right? 2 Federation versus 2 Klingon and 2 Romulan. The board becomes huge. The playtime kind of long, but you can do that. So that's what it comes with. So that's pretty much it. That was just an overview of the component for Star Trek Fleet Captains. I will do a rules overview and my thought on the game, which you already know about it anyway, but I'll explain to you why I like it so much. One of the reasons, like I said, is because there is a lot of different mechanics that works really well in this game. You have card building, I won't say deck building, it's not really deck building, but end management. You have, you know, like a card, it's a card game mixed with a miniature game. It works really well with the arrow clicks. Modular board, so every time you play it will change, but also very, very and extremely thematic. You really feel that you've been through an episode of, or few episodes of Star Trek once you're done playing. Again, I'll go over a shot of all the hero clicks, which is, like I said, one of the... Oh, I said I want to pick the best one, but I forgot the original, man. I mean... Yep. Anyway. That's Star Trek Fleet Captains with the expansion Romulan Empire. Very cool set of components. So if you haven't got this game, well, wait for the review or the rules. There's already some online, but very cool game.